Please have 2 blocks to start today. So we're going to put the blocks like you see them on my mat. There. Because we will be starting in child's pose, but I want you to take your elbows onto the blocks. So you're going to slide the blocks next to your ears, set the elbows on top of the blocks, and then just rest your forehead down so that we can get a little bit more into the shoulders. So it should still be quite a comfortable child's pose. So your hips should be pushing back to the heels. Your forehead should be resting in between the blocks on the mat. And then you're just drawing the hands, the fingers, back to the nape of your neck. And then as you arrive in this pose, just take a moment to get as comfortable. Maybe slide the blocks into position so that they suit you best. And then allow the eyes to close, drop into your breath. And wherever you are in your practice today, wherever you are in your heart today, just know that you're in the right spot. You belong here, and it doesn't matter what your practice looks like. You don't have to compare to anybody else, because that's the beauty of the practice, that you can adapt it to your own needs each and every time you step onto your mat. So as you continue to bring the attention inwards, see if you can try to soften the space in the front side and the back side of your heart a little bit more. Couple more breaths here. Maybe you can draw the attention to the sound of the breath. Maybe you can come a little bit more into that ujjayi breath, where you hear the breath at the back of your throat. So it's almost like if you remember that you ever fogged a mirror or a window, you want to kind of like make that sound with the back of your throat, but with your lips closed. I think that's probably the closest I can describe it from how I feel it should be. So ujjayi breath, just a little bit of a restriction in the back of the throat. And today we'll be working a little bit more into the shoulders, a little bit more into the heart, a little bit more with back bends. And as we work a bit more and deeper with those poses, just know that sometimes we get to points where we reach a limit, because opening up the heart and opening up to new possibilities, we become vulnerable. So as always, just see if you can go with the flow, stay in your comfort zone, and maybe just explore pushing a little bit past that zone, here or there. Let's take our last 3 deep breaths here. Try and see if you can breathe in a little bit deeper. Expand the volume of your rib cage and your lungs a little bit more. And as you exhale, try and focus on bringing more weight into the hips, down towards the heels. Good. Last breath in. Last breath out. And then slowly lift your chest up. Just place your hands onto the blocks now. Slide the blocks in so that they stack underneath your shoulders. And then set up for tabletop, but having the hands on the blocks today. And then we're going to drop the belly, lift the gaze, elongate the front side of the body, and let's just stay here for a couple of breaths today, trying to pull the shoulders away from the ears, trying to push a little bit more length into the front side of the body. And then try to keep your elbows a little bit bent. Just one more breath in here, maybe gaze up a little bit more. And then on the exhale, just countering that by bringing the chin to the chest, pressing now hands, knees, and tops of the feet firmly against their surface. And then broadening in a couple of rounds of breath here into the upper back body, trying to pull the shoulder blades a little bit further apart. Beautiful. And then let's move this and connect the breath to the movement. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the gaze, lengthen into the heart space. And exhale, round and curve. Create space in the upper back body. And then connect to your rhythm of the breath. So each inhale, you drop the belly. And each exhale, you create space in the upper back body as you round into that cat pose. Just 2 more rounds here. Maybe you want to stick with that Ujjayi breath today, or maybe you just want to come back to natural, normal breathing. Good. And then come back to that natural, neutral tabletop pose. You can now set the blocks off to the front of the mat. We won't need them for now. And then just go ahead and circle into the ankles. Just lift the feet off a little bit. Circle one way and then the other way. Crunch your toes. Point and flex the feet here. Good. And then bring the tops of the feet down on the floor. Big toes touch. Maybe the knees open a little bit wider. Take your left hand underneath your face and then reach your right arm all the way up. Create space in the front of that right shoulder. Now you can repeat those movements into the right wrist, hand, maybe open and close your fingers for a bit more circulation here. And as we exhale, let's take and thread that right arm underneath. Don't drop it down to the mat, just reach it as far as you can off to the left. And then inhale, open up again to the right. And again, reach it through to the left. Inhale, lift and open to the right. And this time as you reach through, you want to go ahead and connect your right side of the head and the right shoulder down onto the mat. Option to keep the left hand in front of the face. You could extend that left arm towards the top of the mat. Or if you want to already tap into the left shoulder, you could take that left hand and rest it on the lower back, or even hook the fingertips around the inner hip crease on the right. So wherever you are, the main focus should be on that right outer shoulder. So breathing here, trying to maybe push your hips a little bit over to the right as well for just 2 more rounds of breath. If you're in the bind or if your hand is stretched out, bring the palm back in front of your face, push into it, lift up, just open that right arm one more time to the ceiling. And then repeat the same thing on the other side. So right hand comes down underneath the face, left arm lifts. Take a moment here, just get a little bit more movement into that left hand and wrist. And with an exhale, reach the left arm through as far as you can, off to the right. Inhale, lift it up. Again, reach it through. Inhale, lift. And as you exhale the next time, go ahead and drop the left shoulder down, left temple down. And then choose a position for your right arm. Extend it or bind it. You pick and choose. And then focus your attention to the outer top of that left shoulder. As you breathe in, you want to bring a little bit more length and opening into that left arm. 2 more breaths. Beautiful. And then draw that right palm back in front of your face. Support yourself to come up. Lift the left arm up. And exhale, bring the left hand down. Fantastic. Let's step back into plank pose. So both feet go back, knees lift. We're just here to gather ourselves, to take a moment to connect into the front side of the body in our plank pose. And then very, very slowly, we're going to lower down, connecting the entire front side to the mat, bending into the elbows, release all the way down. Beautiful. Untuck the toes, lengthen the feet. And then slide your hands back, and on your lower back, you're going to hook your right thumb on top of your left. So you're going to make hands like little butterflies. The fingers are spreading apart, and just the right thumb hooks across and over the left. And then keep the feet down as you inhale. Lift your chest, your heart. Maybe lift your hands off the lower back. Keep the gaze down. Try not to throw the neck back. We're here for one more breath. Good. And then exhale, release the forehead to the mat, hands to the lower back. And one more time, just change the hook of your thumbs. Now hook your left thumb over the right. And inhale again, lift. Tops of the feet pressing into the mat, just the upper body lifts, chest and heart off the mat. Take one more breath here. And exhale, release. This time, slide your hands back into cobra position. And on an inhale, take a baby cobra here. And then stay lifted. Just look to your left, back to center. Look to your right, elbows hugging into the ribs. Back to center. One last breath here. Exhale, release. Tuck the toes under and push back into your first downward facing dog. In your down dog, take a moment here, just pedal the heels, bending one knee and then the other. Trying to create length into the spine and eventually into the backs of the legs as you push the heels down. Just notice how the calves feel, how the shoulders feel in this pose. Keep the neck completely relaxed and released. And then push the hips up and back. Look forward and begin to walk your feet all the way up to the top of the mat. Find your forward fold here. Take a halfway lift flat back. Exhale to fold. And on an inhale, bend the knees, circle the arms all the way up overhead. And exhale, hands to the heart. Beautiful. A few rounds of sun salutation A with a little twist. Inhale, lift the arms up overhead. As you exhale, stay in your Tadasana. Just circle the hands around the lower back. Interlace all the fingers. Draw the knuckles down as you lift the chest, the heart. And with the exhale, bend the knees and hinge from your hips as you fold down into your forward fold with the arms extending up overhead. Take an inhale for flat back here. And then release the hands. Bring the hands down to the mat and fold in Uttanasana. Step your feet back into plank pose. Slowly lower all the way down to the ground. Inhale to cobra. And exhale back to downward facing dog. Let's take 2 breaths here in downward facing dog. Slowly warming the body up. Creating a little bit more movement within. Finding our prana. Look forward, step or walk the feet to the top. Halfway lift flat back. Exhale to fold. Inhale, circle the arms up. Come all the way to standing. Lengthen. Hands to the heart as you exhale. We continue to move. Inhale, circle the arms up. On the exhale, circle the hands around behind. Interlace, maybe opposite thumb on top. Knuckles draw down. Lift the heart, the chest. Hinge from the hips as you bend your knees and fold over your legs. Inhale, halfway lift, hands still interlaced. As you exhale, now break free with the hands, bring the hands down to the ground and fold on over your legs again. Step the feet back into your plank pose. On the exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale into your cobra, your back bend. And then exhale to downward facing dog. We'll do one more of those. Take a breath here in down dog, transition. And then look forward, step or walk to the top. Flat back, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, circle the arms all the way up. Hands to the heart. Last round. Inhale, circle the arms up. Exhale, interlace the hands behind the lower back. Draw the hands down, lift the heart. Shoulder blades squeeze together. Exhale, hinge and fold. Inhale, flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, hands down to the ground, fold. Step the legs back, plank pose. Lower all the way down. Inhale into your back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's stay here for 3 breaths this time. Just noticing how the breath is moving, how the body is adjusting to the poses. Last breath in, last breath out in this down dog. Good, and then looking forward again, step or walk the feet to the top. This time, bring your big toes to touch and then come into chair pose. Drop the hips, lift the arms. Sit nice and low into your chair. So Utkatasana means fierce pose. So you do want to feel a little bit of strain in the legs maybe. Make sure your lower back is not arching too much. Good. And on the inhale, stand up, stretch your legs. And as you exhale, just pull your elbows to the ribs for 1 time. Inhale, reach the arms back up and come back into your chair pose. 1 inhale here to lift the heart. And then exhale, forward fold. Flat back, inhale, lengthen. Step your feet back, lower down, either knees, chest, chin to the ground. Or if you're ready for full chaturanga, go ahead. Inhale into cobra or up dog. Down dog as you exhale. On the next inhale, right leg reaches back and up. And then step the right foot all the way up and through. Stay on your back toes as you rise up to crescent pose. Big breath in here. And exhale. Pause here for a moment. See if you can maybe wiggle that right foot a little bit more out to the right side. Even though we're working into the heart, we want to make sure that our base, our foundation is safe so that we can let go a little bit of the worry of opening up in the front and the upper body. On your exhale, open arm twist to the right, left arm reaches forward, right arm reaches back. Pause here for a moment. And then as you exhale, drop the right hand to the back of the left leg and reach that left arm a little bit up and overhead towards the back. Big stretch into the front body, sorry. And then as you exhale, windmill the hands down. Step the right leg back, find your vinyasa of choice. Inhale through the back bend and exhale to downward facing dog. Into the left side, left leg lifts and reaches up. Step the left foot through. Balance on back toes as you rise up into your crescent pose. Take a moment here. Find a nice and safe stance. The right heel is lifted up over the right toes. And as you exhale, open arm twist to the left this time. Good. Pause here for a moment. Keep that big bend in the left knee. And when you're ready, drop the left hand to the back of the right leg and then reach the right arm up overhead. Breathe here. Good. And windmill the hands down. Step the left leg back, Vinyasa. Into cobra or up dog. Down dog, exhale. Good. We'll do that 2 more times, connecting breath to movement, taking it a little bit more into a flow, amping up the speed. So when you're ready, look forward, step walk or take a little hop to the top, flat back halfway lift, exhale, fold, chair pose, inhale, stay in your chair, exhale, inhale, stretch the legs, stand up, exhale, pull the elbows down to the ribs, inhale, lift the arms up, exhale, back into your chair, inhale, lift the heart in chair, exhale, fold, halfway lift, inhale, step or jump the feet back into your plank, lower down, your variation, inhale, open the heart, exhale, downward facing dog, inhale, right leg reaches back and up, exhale, step it through, inhale, rise on back toes, exhale, open arm twist to the right, inhale, reverse, exhale, windmill the hands down, step the right leg back and lower to the ground, inhale into your cobra or up dog, down dog, exhale, inhale, left leg lifts, left leg steps through, exhale, rise on back toes, crescent, inhale, exhale, open arm twist to the left, inhale, reverse, exhale, windmill the hands down, step the left foot back, lower to the ground, inhale into your back bend, exhale, down dog. Let's take 3 breaths in down dog, and then we have 1 more round to go. Maybe you can already feel the heart is beating a little faster. The energy is trying to move a little bit faster through the body as well. 1 more inhale, exhale here. Look forward, step, walk or float to the top, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale to chair pose. Pause in your chair pose, exhale. Inhale, stand all the way up. Exhale, pull the elbows to the ribs. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale, back to chair. Inhale, lift the heart in chair. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Flat back, inhale. Step or jump back into your plank. Lower same, exhale. Inhale into your cobra or up dog. Down dog, exhale. Inhale, right leg reaches back and up. Step the right foot through. Inhale into your crescent. Exhale, open arm twist to the right. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, hands down. Same exhale, step that right leg back and lower into your vinyasa. Inhale, cobra, up dog. Down dog, exhale. Inhale, left leg reaches back and up. Step it through, exhale. Inhale, rise. Exhale, open arm twist to the left. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, windmill the hands down. Step it back, lower down. Cobra or up dog, inhale. Down dog, exhale. Whee! Let's see if we can release a little bit of that heat by fluttering the lips like a horse. So inhale, and then just flutter your lips. 2 more times. Inhale. 1 more time. Good. Return back to your natural, normal breathing. Take another last breath here in this down dog. And then go ahead and drop the knees down to the ground. Coming into puppy pose, Anahata Asana. We're going to keep the knees under the hips, and then you're going to crawl the hands forward and out, allowing for the chest to lower closer down to the mat. Eventually, you find it comfortable to bring the chin down onto the mat. I personally find it's too much in my neck, so I like to drop the forehead to the mat. But you choose. Wherever you are, it's absolutely okay. And the idea here is to allow the heart to melt down to the mat and to work into opening the shoulders. So if your shoulders feel really, really tight, maybe try opening the arms out a little bit more to the upper edges of the mat on the right and the left. And then also try and see if you can just press a little bit with effort into the tops of the toes so that your lower back doesn't give in all the way. Just a little bit of a counter anchor there. We're here for about 5 more breaths. Good. Keep breathing. Last full breath in. And exhale out. Good. Draw the hands back under the shoulders. Come back into your tabletop pose. Adjust if you need to. And then we're going to go ahead and come into sunbird. So extend that right leg long back. And then when you have the balance, pushing the left shin into the mat, release that left arm and reach it all the way forward. Breathing here. In and out of the nose. Good. See if you can draw the navel up to the spine. And try to keep the arm at shoulder height and the leg at hip height. So trying to keep the shoulders and the hips parallel to the floor. Give it one more reach goodbye. Inhale. And then exhale, bend into the right leg and reach that left arm all the way back, trying to grab the top of that left foot. So working into the front left shoulder here. We're breathing in and out of the nose still, trying to create resistance between the top of the right foot and the left hand. Take another breath in here. And another breath out. Good. And then slowly release back to that sunbird position, arm and leg extend. And exhale, bring everything down to the mat. Step the feet back into your plank pose. And then we're going to bring the big toes to touch and pivot onto the outer edge of that left foot, coming into side plank on the left, giving that right arm a little break. So right arm extends all the way up to the ceiling. And you can stay here. Maybe you would like to reach that right arm for extension all the way up overhead. And we're here to breathe. Try to see if you can keep the hips and the shoulders in one line. So try not to roll back with the hips or forward. Trying to keep them where they are. Last breath in. Last breath out. Inhale, right arm up to the ceiling. And then bring the right fingertips back down into your plank pose. Flow through your vinyasa. Into your back bend. And then downward facing dog. Let's take a full breath here in down dog. Maybe you can already notice a little bit more space in the shoulders, a little bit more space in the backs of the legs. If not, that's okay. Wherever you are, it's good. Beautiful. Then from here, let's go ahead and lift the left leg back and up into the sky. And bring the left knee to the left triceps. Inhale, kick it back. 2 more times. Left knee, left triceps, top. Inhale, kick it back. Left knee, left triceps, last time. Inhale, kick it back, 3-legged dog. And then step the left foot all the way through. Scoot that right leg far back before you drop the right knee down for a low lunge. On the inhale, lift both arms up overhead. Come into Anjaneyasana. Good. Big breath in here. Big breath out. One more breath in. One more breath out. Bend into the right elbow. You guys stay. I'm just going to turn so you can see better. Bend into the right elbow and maybe just grab the top of that right elbow. Or if you can, go ahead, stay in your pose and circle that left arm around and maybe the fingers connect for full Gomukhasana arms. But you choose. You can either come into this position where the fingers connect, elbows pointing up and down alongside the body, or maybe you're just holding on to that top of the right elbow. Breathing here. Maybe you can press the back of the head a little bit into the right arm. Lift the heart, the chest. One more breath in here. And then very slowly back to low lunge. Release the arms, circle the arms all the way up overhead. And then bring your left elbow onto your left knee. Begin to bend into that right knee again and reach the right arm back. See if you can grab the top of that right foot this time. Breathing here, in and out of the nose. Try to bring the right shoulder to become parallel with the left again, and the right hip is pushing forward and down. Last breath in, last breath out. And then very slowly let go of the right foot. Lunge position, circle the arms down, frame the left foot, lift the right leg. Pivot the right heel down, and then swivel up into warrior two. So almost as if you were windmilling upwards into warrior two. Gaze out over that left hand. Take a beautiful breath here. And as you exhale, left elbow onto left knee, right arm up towards the ceiling. You can either stay here, or if you like, take that right hand and bring it all the way around to the lower back, maybe hooking the fingers to that left inner hip crease. So working deep into that right front shoulder. Now you can stay here, or if you wanted to add a little bit more challenge and create a little bit more heat, maybe bring the left index finger and left thumb together for a mudra, and then reach the left arm forward towards the top of the mat. Breathe here. Roll that right shoulder back behind you. Breathe for 3, for 2, for 1. Release the arms. Inhale, reverse the warrior. Keep the big bend in the left knee. And then exhale back into your plank pose. Good. Take a breath here in your plank. And then exhale, pigeon pose on the left side. So pull the left knee forward, slide that right leg long back, and find your pigeon. Stay on your fingertips for a few breaths. So just sussing out any problems with the posture. You can slide the left knee out a little bit more to the left. You could try to slide a block underneath that left hip. Or you could just try to see if you can keep the balance, the symmetry of the right and the left side here. And when that is the case, go ahead and lower down, coming onto your forearms, or eventually lowering even further down with your forehead on a block or your hands. And as you come into this pose, obviously we're gonna feel it in the outer left hip, but we don't want to lose the focus of today's practice, which is opening the heart. So if you can, push your heart a little bit further ahead and push your sternum a little bit more down towards the ground maybe. Good. Couple more breaths here. Last inhale and exhale. And then we're going to come back up onto our palms, back into that pigeon on the fingertips. Now you can stay exactly here. For some of you, it may be helpful if you take a block and slide it under your left hip so that you have support under the left hip. You can stay here, or if you want to go further, we're going to try mermaid pose today. So as we go further, we're going to bend that right knee in towards the hip again. And eventually you can reach your right hand back to the right foot. Maybe you stay here. If you want to go further, maybe you can slide that right elbow around the top of that right foot. If you have the block under your hip, it's much easier. And then eventually, let me take that block too, because then I can explain better. You can come back into that mudra with your left fingertips. Or if you can, maybe like we did in that position with that Gomukhasana in low lunge, your hands can interlace behind your head. Wherever you are, give it a try. Stay where your body tells you to stay today. Maybe you're here. Maybe you're here. Last breath in, last breath out. And then release very slowly out of your version. Tuck the back toes under. Lift the right leg and then slide the left leg back into plank. Pause here. And then from here, we're going to come back into that side plank on the left side one more time, stacking the feet on top of each other, reaching that right arm up towards the ceiling. Now maybe stay here or begin to lift the right foot off the left, just let it hover. And then come into a mini wild thing, taking that right foot around behind you, lifting your heart, your chest, and then pushing your hips, your heart up towards the ceiling. We're here for 3, 2, and 1. Come back into your plank. And drop the knees. Good. Let's do that on the other side. From here, left leg extends back, right arm reaches forward, coming and starting back in our sunbird position. Belly draws towards the navel, so you want to draw the belly in, lengthen the lower back, maybe flex into that left foot, reach the right foot forward, right arm forward, sorry. Take another breath here, and then begin to bend into that left knee and reach the right arm back to see if you can connect to the top of that left foot with your right hand. Beautiful. Good. Maybe you can take the gaze forward for just one inhale and exhale here. And then slowly release. Extend the arm and the leg straight out. Come into your plank pose. Right hand down. Step the right leg back. This time, find your side plank to the right. Pivot onto the outer edge of that right foot. Lift the left arm up. You can stay here. You can always modify and drop that right knee down to the ground for a modified side plank. And then reach the left arm up overhead for some extension if you like. We're here for one more full round of breath. Beautiful. Come back into your plank pose. Find your vinyasa. Lower down. Inhale into your cobra or back bend of choice. And then downward facing dog. Take a full breath in here. And a full breath out. On the inhale, right leg reaches up. 3 times. Right knee taps the elbow. 3. 2. Last time. 3-legged dog, inhale. And then right foot steps all the way through. Push the left foot long back before you lower that left knee, and then rise up into your low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Take a moment here. Find your pose. Again, maybe you want to wiggle that right foot a little bit more out to the right for a better balance. And then you could bend into that left elbow, place the palm of the left hand between the shoulder blades, and just stay here. Or if you like, go ahead and circle that right hand around, and maybe the fingertips find each other, hook together, and then you can come into Gomukhasana arms. Maybe you're in a half Gomukhasana. That's fine. Wherever you are, see if you can gently push the left forearm against the back of the head. Lift your heart, your chest. One more breath here. And then slowly release, unravel, bring the arms up overhead. Right elbow onto the right knee. Reach back with the left hand as the left heel comes up. Maybe the hand and the foot can meet. And once you have that, try again to square your left shoulder forward, pressing into the top of that left foot. So you want to turn that left front hip crease on. Instead of stretching it, you want to actually push the top of the foot into the left hand so that you can create a little bit of tension there. Good. One more breath here. One more breath out. And then very slowly release. Take both hands down, frame your right foot, lift the left leg up, come into a lunge. Pivot the left heel down and then do that upward windmill movement into warrior two. Finding your warrior two here. And then from here, side angle, bring the right elbow to the right knee. This time we're gonna stay in that. So today we're not gonna drop the fingertips. We're gonna bring the right elbow and keep it on the right knee. You can stay here in your side angle variation with the elbow on the knee. If you like, take that left arm, bring it all the way around. Maybe hook the fingertips around to the inside of the right hip crease. You can stay here, just working into opening the left shoulder, or you can bring your index and thumb finger together and reach the right arm out for a little bit more activity, a little bit more strength building. Breathing here, keep a big bend in that right knee for 3, for 2, and maybe put a smile on your face for 1. Release, reverse the warrior, inhale. And exhale, windmill the hands down. Coming into plank pose, we're gonna step the right foot back. Just take a breather here. And then pigeon pose, bring that right knee to the right wrist. Slide the left leg long back. Stay up on your hands at first. Couple of breaths here in your pigeon, trying to bring the right and the left hip bone next to each other. And whenever you feel ready, lower down for about 5 to 6 breaths. Come into your pigeon pose, remembering that it's not only about the right outer hip stretch today, but also about opening the front of the heart, as well as the back of the heart, of course. But here you want to push the front and the sternum down towards the front of the mat. Two more breaths. On your next inhale, come back up onto your hands. And then same as on the other side, you can stay here. You could use that block and slide it under your right hip if you like. And then begin to bend that left foot in, reaching back with the left hand. You can stay here, or if it's in your practice today, maybe hook that left elbow around the top of the foot, reach the right arm up, and maybe just make that mudra again with the chin, with the thumb and the index finger, or bring the hands together behind your head, coming into mermaid pose. It's entirely up to you. You have lots of options that you can work with. We're here for 3, 2, and 1. Very slowly release. And then step back into your plank pose. Drop the knees down and find child's pose. Just for a few breaths here, allow the body to relax as you breathe in and out of your nose. Last breath in and out here. Good. And then just come up for a moment to sit on your heels. So for today in class, I very seldom teach headstands and I very seldom teach them online. So if you are ready, if you know your practice is at a point where you can safely do so without me being there in physical appearance with you, maybe use a wall, maybe don't. You can always just stay in the tripod downward facing dog and work and create strength into the shoulders. If you want to do a headstand, just remember that once you lift the legs off the floor, there should barely be weight on your head. It's all in your forearms, okay? So we'll do it in stages and you can just rest and stay in the stage that works for you today. So see if you can measure the outer edges of your elbows by hooking the hands around the outer edges. If you want to do a headstand, please do use a wall. And then interlace the hands, but fold the pinky fingers in so that they are parallel to each other. And then from here, you're going to lift up almost as if you were just going into a downward facing dog. And then we're going to walk the feet forward until the crown of the head kind of nests into the palms. So maybe you're just here. Yeah, absolutely fine. Maybe you want to create strength. Press into your forearms, take the weight out of the head, and just lift the right leg up and bring the right leg back down. So you can do leg raises here. That's one option. If you do want to go into headstanding, you're going to walk the feet out as far as possible towards the knees, towards the head, and then eventually the feet lift off. This would be your first stage. Yeah, bringing the knees towards the belly, maybe just the heels reaching towards the ceiling. But please don't watch the video. If you're here, please do it. But if you're not going into headstand, just continue with your leg raises. If you're ready, you could, of course, extend the legs up towards the ceiling. If you do so, squeeze the inner thighs together and continue to press into your forearms. Stay where you are. Keep what you're doing. I'm just going to have a quick look. That's it. Very nice. If you're close to the wall, try and see if you can balance away from the wall. You know you have that safety. Nice. Breathing here. Last 3. Beautiful, you guys. Last 2. That's it. Squeeze the inner thighs together. Last breath in here. And then wherever you are, very slowly and safely come back out. Nice catch. And then from here, let's all come back into child's pose. Take 2-3 breaths here in child's pose. And just know that this is just an option. It's maybe a goal. And maybe for some of us, yoga means that we're never, ever going to go into headstand, into handstanding, or into any other inversion. Those are really just tools that we can use and play around with, but the essence of yoga doesn't require you to stand on your head. So just remember, for some it's a no-go, and that's absolutely okay, because you can injure yourself if you push past fear and anxiety, and maybe if your body is not ready for it, there's more harm done than the fun that you get when you do it and you enjoy it. Last breath here in child's pose. And then let's go ahead and flip ourselves around. Make sure you have that block close so that you can reach it. We're going into a few back bends lying down. So we're going to start with bridge pose. We'll do bridge pose 3 times. And so the option is just to come into a restorative version where you slide the block under your hips and you're going to stay here, and you're just going to ignore when I cue to come out of the pose, and you're just going to come out of the pose at the very end after the 3rd round. That's your least challenging options, the one that probably you take most care for your mental health. And if you want to go into the inclinations of the pose, we're going to start with the feet hip width. And then lift as you press into the heels, the hips off the mat. And then walk the hands together so that they can interlace underneath your lower back. This is our first variation of bridge pose for today. And we're going to take about 3 breaths here. So we're just going to breathe in and out of the nose, pressing into the heels, imagining that you can push your glutes towards the back of the knees. And then always keep a little space between the throat and the chest. One more breath here. Beautiful. And then very slowly release the interlace and lower down to the ground. If you're on your restorative version, just stay where you are. If you want to go into the next level, you can come back into the one we did just now, or if you want to go into the next level, into full wheel, you're going to bring the palms next to your ears with the fingertips towards the shoulders. And you're going to push up at first only to the crown of the head. So with the elbows bent, you're going to rest on the crown of the head. And maybe you stay here, or if you have it in you for today and for today's practice, you can begin to extend the arms. Just always remember, if you're doing this as a recording, you need to keep enough strength and stamina to safely exit the pose. Last 3, 2, 1. Lower the head down and slowly release onto your back. Beautiful. We're going to do it one more time. If you want to switch to the restorative, that's totally fine. Otherwise, if you want to try and do it again, bring the hands next to the ears, lift the head up, stay on the crown of the head, and then maybe bring your forearms down and cradle the back of the head like we did in that variation for the headstanding. And maybe you're here in this position of your bridge with cradled back of the head, forearms on the mat, and hips lifting. If you have more strength, maybe press so hard into the forearms that you lift the head off the mat and have it hovering. One more breath here. And then very slowly release. Bring the hands next to the head, tuck the chin in, and release down. And if you're in that restorative version, slowly lift the hips off the block and come all the way down onto your back, where we all meet for a little bit of a twist. So we're gonna bring the arms, if you have the space, out at shoulder height. If you don't have the space, cactus the arms, lift the knees, and then drop the legs over to the left, over to the right. Just a little bit of a dynamic twist here to release. Over to the left. One more time to the right. To the left, and then stay here. Maybe place your left hand on the top of the right knee. See if you can lengthen the spine, and then turn your gaze out to the right side if the neck feels good. As you breathe now, you want to draw that breath all the way down to the navel. You want to inflate the area around your belly button so that you can signal to the brain that we're really now cooling down, taking it easy, coming into that beautiful part of relaxation, rejuvenation, and healing. Last breath here. Head and knees back to center. And then go ahead and drop the knees off to the right. Place your right hand on top of the left knee. Both shoulder blades are going down towards the mat, really drawing them down. If the neck is okay, turn your head to the left. And if you really want to lengthen and stretch into that lower back, give a little bit of pressure into the left knee and hold the knee down with your right hand. And then you can play around with that sensation a little bit, if that's something you want to explore today. Continue with those deep belly breaths. 2 more rounds. Turn head and knees back to center. Give yourself a nice tight hug. And then go ahead and slide that right leg tightly on top of the left, like you were going into eagle pose. And reach for the opposite edges of your feet. So your right hand reaches for the outer edge of that left foot, and the left hand reaches for the outer edge of that right foot. So you have your legs crossed, and then release down. So you're doing like a cow face pose, Gomukhasana, only with the legs now. If you can't reach for the outer edges of the feet, maybe take the shins. You want to relax the back of the head and the shoulders onto the mat, and then push the feet into the hands and away from your body. 3, 2, 1. And for today, we're just going to simply take a switch. Left leg on top of the right, bend into the knees. Come up to reach for the outer edges of your feet, and then relax back down. And again, pushing the feet into the hands. 3, 2, 1. Release the legs. Last pose for today, happy baby. Reach again for the outer edges of the feet this time, no cross of the knees. So feet are pushing up against the hands. The back of the head, the shoulders are pushing down into the mat as you're trying to keep softness around the neck and the jaw. Muscles of the face are relaxed, and the knees stack underneath the heels. Two more breaths here. Very slowly transition into our final pose of today's class. See if you need to take a blanket or keep something else on top of you to stay warm. And then extend the legs, extend the arms. Once you're on your back and you're ready, take a deep full breath in through the nose. Draw in as much air and oxygen as possible. Hold it as you gather all that breath inside your lungs. And then open your mouth, exhale with a sigh. Coming into Shavasana. the next breath that you take be deeper than the previous one. Let the exhale be longer. And let the first movement be just a gentle rock of your head side to side. Next, you can add movements into the fingers and the toes, little wiggles of the wrists, the ankles, and eventually a good stretch with the arms up overhead, full body stretch. And draw the knees back into the chest. And either you give it a little rock back and forth, or you roll to the right side and help yourself up into a seat. Try to keep your eyes closed as you rise up. Once you're seated, begin to draw the hands to the heart, gently bow the chin to the chest, as always in a gesture of gratitude towards ourselves and towards the practice of yoga. And then repeat after me. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be safe. May all beings in this universe be healthy, happy, and safe. May all beings in this universe be happy, healthy, and safe. Namaste. Thank you.